Welcome back to my YouTube channel, guys. In today's video I'm going to share with you guys how you can cut and sew your pants trouser, like your trouser. I hope you understand. So this video here is very detailed and is beginners friendly. If you are a beginner and you are wondering how you can go about all of this, I'll advise you sit tight and make sure to watch this video till the end. If you are yet to subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do well to hit on the subscribe button and please turn on the notification bell so you'll be first to get notified when I upload my new video. And to all my old subscribers, thank you for always coming around and thanks so much for So guys, to get started you will need to fold your fabric into two. So mine is already folded into two and I have my drawing materials here with me. I also have my chalk, my scissors, and of course I have my tape and my fabric. So I'm going to first go ahead and fold at least 1.5 inch this way. I'm going to measure to be sure if that is correct. Now this is going to serve as our waistband. Now there are some trousers that you might just want to cut out the waistband separately. It's totally fine, but I decided to fold at least 1.5 inch before taking my measurement, just like what you're seeing here. So I'm also using pins to just hold this down. Can you see? So once I'm through with that, the next thing I'm going to do now, remember this fabric is folded into two. So that's how you need to fold yours before you go ahead and cut this out. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do now is I'm going to place my tape from this upper area here and I'm going to measure waist to my hip line. Okay, so waist to hip for me is 9 inches. I'm going to go ahead and mark 9 inches here and then I'll use my ruler to connect a straight line across just like this. So once you're through with this, the next measurement you're going to take is waist to the crotch. Okay, waist to crotch line. So I'll come down by at least 3 inches. Waist to my crotch line, I'm coming down by 3 inches here. I'll mark 3 inches here and then I'm going to go ahead and mark the full, like connect a straight line across just like this. Now to get our tie line, I'm coming down from the crotch line here by about 4 inches. So I'll come down by about 4 inches here and I'm also going to go ahead and connect a straight line across. The next thing I'm going to do now is to come to my tie line here and I'm going to, my hip line, and I'm going to mark my round hip divided by 4. So on your hip, go ahead and mark your round hip divided by 4 and I'm also going to go ahead and add 1 inch for stitching allowance. Sorry for the noise. So everything I did on the hip line, I'm also going to repeat same thing on my crotch line, and once I'm through I'll just go ahead and connect a straight line across. After connecting the line, the next thing I'm going to do now is to get my crotch extension, and to do that I'm going to come to my crotch line here and I'll be going out by about 3 inches. Okay, so please take note of where I have to come out from. Now this line here is not needed. Okay, I'm making use of this particular line here, this one here, and not this one here. Okay, so please take note. So from that point I'll be going out by 3 inches. So from the crotch line here, I'm going to go ahead and connect a curve to meet this 3 inches point I came out by. Can you see what I'm doing? So go ahead and do same just like this. So I'll come to the tie line here and I'm going to mark the measurements around my tie divided by 2 plus 1 inch for stitching allowance. Okay, so go ahead and take the measurement around your tie and divide it by 2 and then add 1 inch again for your stitching allowance. So I'm going to mark it, which is somewhere around 13 inches here, and then I'm going to now connect from here to here. So guys, I'm still going to measure what I have here, which is 13 inches, and I'm going to now replace it on the full length of my pants. Okay, so I'll bring it to the end of this pant here and I'm going to mark 13 inches and then connect a straight line. So before I cut this out, I'm also going to now extend the line I have on my hip line to the waistline. So please take note of this, okay? So whatever you have on your hip, you're supposed to also repeat same thing on the waistline. So I had about 11.5 inches here. Okay, so I'm also going to repeat it here, like I'll replace it on the waistline and connect a straight line across. So I'll mark it here and then use my ruler now to connect a straight line across. Now I'm going to come to that particular line around the waist area where we have that round hip divided by 4. Okay, so where I marked on the waistline, I'm also going to now place my tape around that area now to take my round waist divided by 4. Okay, so from this point here, can you see how I'm placing my tape? So my round waist divided by 4 is 8 inches. So I marked it here and I'm going to add 1 inch again to this. So from that point, so I added 1 inch for my darts and I added 1 inch for ease. Okay, so add 1 inch for that and add 1 inch again for your ease. So I'm going to now connect from that point back to the hip line. So you guys just look at what I'm doing here. So from that point, from the last point you marked, you're going to connect it straight down to your hip line. So once you're through with this, just go ahead and then cut out every other thing. So if you don't know how to cut this out, please pay attention to the parts I'll be cutting out. So guys, this is what I had after I was done cutting mine. So I'm going to go ahead and place another fabric so that we can cut out the back pieces as well. So I've gone ahead to place another pieces, and I also went ahead to place the front pieces on top of it just like this. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do now is to go ahead and fold at least 1.5 inch again at the top here, just like we did for the front pieces. Can you see? So I'm just going ahead to fold 1.5 inch, and after that I'm also going to use my pins to hold it down. Okay, so I'm also using my tape here to measure, just to be sure that what I have folded it's up to 1.5 inch. So whatever you do, just make sure that you are trying to get the correct measurement. Okay, so I will use these pins now and hold it down, and after then I'm going to go ahead, we'll proceed to something else. So guys, this is it here after I was done, and you can see the way I place the front pieces. You can tell that I have a lot of allowance here at the crotch area here, just like what you see here. And the next thing I have here is also at the side. I'm going to explain that better. So remember, the front pieces is on top of another fabric here that I'll be cutting out for the back, and you can see I have a lot of allowances at the crotch area and at the side. So the next thing we are going to do now is we are going to now come out from this part here. So come out by 2 inches. Okay, so from this area here you're going to come out by 2 inches here, and you're going to repeat same thing till you get to the crotch area. And on the crotch area here I'll come out by about 2.5 inch. Okay, I hope you understand. So on the crotch area I went out by 2.5 inch, and after then now I'm also going to come down and mark 2 inches, and I'm using my straight ruler here to connect all those points. Can you see? So I've connected it down to the crotch line, and from the crotch I'm going to connect it down to this other part here, and I'll continue doing this. I'll continue marking 2 inches as we go. Okay, so this is it. This is a crotch area, as you can see, and on this other part again I'll go out by 2 inch, sorry. I'll come down by 2 inch, and I'll do this till you get to the full length of this pants. Can you see what I'm doing? So connect it this way till you get to this point. I'm done connecting this, and this is what we have here. So at this point I'm just going to go ahead and measure what I have to be sure that I have up to 2 inches, because at this point my trouser was kind of like shifting. So this is what I have here. Next thing I'm going to do is to go ahead and cut this out. After cutting this out, I'm going to go over to my machine and stitch down these crotch areas here where you see my finger. Can you see from this area here? And I'm going to do same thing for these other pieces. I'll stitch through to this crotch area using 1/2 inch. Okay, I've stitched them down, and this is what I have here. Can you see? I went ahead to stitch down these areas here, and I also did same thing for this other side. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to now open this up. So this is it here. We're going to open it up just like this. Can you see? And I'm going to go ahead and place these other pieces on top of it. Okay, so I'll place this one right side facing each other. So I'll place it this way, and I'm going to go back to my machine and also stitch down these crotch areas as well. I'll pick the bolts this way and place them right side facing each other. I hope you understand what I'm doing here. So I'm placing them this way, and then I'll rush to my sewing machine and stitch them down. Now you can go ahead and use your pin to also hold this down. Can you see? So from this point here, I'm going to now stitch through like this. I'll stitch through to this crotch area, stitch it again through to this other part until you get to this other side here. This is what I have after I was done stitching this, and this is what I have. So these are the areas I stitched down, just like I explained earlier. So I've stitched down all these areas here, and this is what we have. Now by the time you do this, you realize that the back is bigger than the front. It is totally fine. You are on the right track. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do now is to stitch down our dart. And I went in by half of my nipple to nipple point, and I came down by 6 inches for my dart length, connected a straight line across. I'll go out on both sides by half of an inch. Okay, so I'll connect it back like this. I hope you know how to take your darts. And then I'm also going to do same thing for this other side here. I'll come in by half of my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches, and I'm going to come down by 6 inches. I'll connect a line to that 6 inches point. I'm also going to go out on both sides by half inch, and I'll connect my dart leg. Now I'll repeat same thing for the back pieces, and then I'll take this to my sewing machine and stitch down the dart. So for the back, I've also gone ahead to turn my fabric. I'll come in by half of my nipple to nipple measurement, and I'll mark 6 inches, connect a straight line across. I'll go out on both sides again by half of an inch, just like this. And then I'm also going to do same thing for this other side, just like we did for the front pieces. Okay, so I'm coming down by 6 inches again, and I'll connect it just like this. Go out on both sides again by half of an inch, and then connect my dart leg just like this. So right now I'll go over to my sewing machine, pick one of it this way and place it this way and stitch it down. And then once I'm done, I'm also going to go ahead and close up the side of my trouser. Now if it's very big, you just need to align it and then stitch it down. Okay, I'll do same thing for the both side. This is what I have after I was done stitching everything down. You can see my darts here. You can see my darts, and I also went ahead to close up the side just like I told you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to the right side. So I'm going to turn it to the right side, and I'm going to take this to my ironing table and iron out everything straight. So turn it to the right side and then give it a good press. So guys, I've ironed this out, and this is what I have here. Everything looking very straight and beautiful. So this is it here. And for the waistband, I also went ahead to stitch down these areas here that I folded with 1.5 inch. Can you see? So go ahead and fold it and then stitch it around the waist. And as for this, the length of this pants, I also went ahead to fold 1/2 inch and then stitch it down. So you're going to fold the ends of your pants. Okay, so this is what I have after I was done. The next thing we are going to do now is to get either your elastic, or you're going to be using your ropes. This is another strap that I cut out from this same fabric that measures 2 inches width, and the length for this is my round waist and some extra inches. So you're going to mark your round waist and add extra inches to it. So mine was 36, and I went ahead to cut this at 41 or 42 inches. I'm going to fold it this way, take it over to my sewing machine and stitch it down. And after then, once I'm done stitching this down, I'm going to now go ahead and turn it over to the right side. This is what I have after I was done. This is how everything looks. Can you see? So I'm going to use this now to pass it through to the waist. So if you don't want to use your elastic, you can as well use this. I'm going to use my safety pin this way and then pass it through to this waist area here. So please, if you don't want to use your elastic, you can go ahead and do that, or you can do it on You can either use your ropes, so I'm just using mine now to pass it through to the waist area. Now I'm going to try and pass it until it gets to the other point, and I will show you guys how everything looks. So guys, I am done, and this is what I have here. Everything looking very nice and beautiful. If you watch this far, thank you so much for watching this video. At some point I lost some of my clips, so I just went ahead to repeat this particular one here, but remember that I had to pass those ropes through the waist, and this is how everything looks, very neat and beautiful. So thanks for watching this video. Let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a comment, don't forget to share, don't forget to let me know to subscribe on my YouTube channel, and I'll see you guys. Bye.